Hi everybody, this is Jordan Weber and we're going to be cooking Aunt Kathy's pot roast. First we're going to sprinkle the Adolph's tenderizer on the roast and rub it in. So we actually have Adolph's tenderizer, good. So we're going to sprinkle that on the roast and it's going to be about a teaspoon. We'll do both sides total. Then we're going to sprinkle some steak and chop I have here, or some Montreal steak seasoning if you have it. That's good. I'm going to put a little bit of my own spices on there as well. I'm going to put a little bit extra garlic, a little bit of onion powder. Whoa, oops. I'll put that on the other side. And a little bit of black pepper. Ruth's favorite. Alright. So we're going to turn it, or we're going to go ahead and just kind of rub that in. If you don't like touching meat, this might not be your thing. You might have to have somebody else do this. Always, 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 if you're preparing meat, don't touch anything else after you touch meat. Make sure you wash your hands. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So we're going to tenderize it by just kind of pushing that into the meat. Okay. Push it all in there. Using your fingers, your forearms, your shoulders, your chest. This is a workout. Alright, we're going to go ahead and flip it over. Just because I don't want to put meat on top of those containers, what I'm going to do is use the back of my wrist. Get some water, back of my wrist. I'm going to wash my hands before I touch those containers. Okay? Don't want to let that raw meat touch anything else. And the first thing that you do after you begin cooking the meat is wash the cutting board. And remember, don't let the meat touch anything else but the cutting board. Alright, so I'm going to throw this out. Don't even want that around. Maybe even prepare some more towels if I need it. If I need to set anything down. So now we're on to the other side of the meat. Again, we're going to put the tenderizer, Adolph's tenderizer, Adolph's. I don't know if it's Adolph's or Adolph's, but I'm putting it on here. It's really not coming through. There we go. I think this is just salt. This is salt, sugar, cornstarch. It's just a tenderizer, I guess. Never actually used it before. So again, a little bit of garlic, black pepper. Again, this is Ruth's aunt's recipe. We're going to enjoy this tomorrow for Christmas. And let's see, we put the black pepper, a little bit of steak and chop. Put the garlic on there, put the black pepper, no onion powder, we got that from the other side. And I think we're good to go. So now we're going to start pushing that back in there. And I'm noticing that I'm getting crumbs all over the place, even on my phone, so I'm going to have to wash that phone too. Pushing it in there, and then it's to sprinkle the seasonings in. It's step 2. Step 3, spray the Crock-Pot with Pam cooking spray. So we have some vegetable oil or cooking spray. Hopefully that is fine. Then we're going to put the roast in the Crock-Pot. Okay, then we're going to pour in the beef broth until it covers the meat. Cook on high for about an hour, then turn down to low and let it cook for about 6 to 7 hours. Try not to lift the lid. And then after about 6 hours, use a fork to test if the meat falls apart. And that is step 8. We're not going to go any further than that. So, step 1, sprinkle Adolph's tenderizer on the roast and rub it in. Step 2, sprinkle the Montreal steak seasoning on the roast and rub it in. Spray the Crock-Pot with Pam cooking spray. So first thing we're going to do, again, we're going to wash our hands. Back of the wrist touch. Back of the wrist touch. Wash them good. Especially your thumbs. And again, that's to prevent any potential bacteria on the beef getting anywhere else. I'm going to go ahead and wipe my phone off now. I'll disinfect that. Alright, so spray the crock pot with the Pam cooking spray. This is cooking spray. Alright, here we go. Alright, put the roast in the crock pot. And then pour in the beef broth. So, you'll put in just a little on the bottom. I don't know, I'm going to go with the directions, so I'm just going to put this in. Okay. Again, I'm going to wash my hands. Here we go. Hopefully this is all we need here. So we're going to go ahead and pour this in. This is the beef broth. We're pouring in the beef broth. Alright, this is Aunt Kathy's pot roast. Yeah, I think this will be perfect amount. I'm going to cook on high for about an hour, then down to low and let it cook for 6 to 7 hours. So, first thing we're going to do, that's it here, throw this out. Just making sure you're not contaminating anything. Putting these lids back on. Remember, my hands are clean, so I'm safe to touch all the lids. Put these back. Alright, let's have some tea. This is an oolong rooibos with chopped ginger. Alright, so let's just get everything out of the way. Next thing we're going to do is put the lid on. Okay, put the lid on, make sure it's secure. There'll be some latches on both sides. You know it's secure if you try to pull it and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is make sure it's plugged in. There's nothing obstructing the wire. There's nothing around that because that's going to be plugged in for a while. And if you want, you can unplug anything else that's in there, but I think we'll be okay. From here, I'm going to just make sure that nothing is near it. You know, give it a little bit of space. It's out in the open. It's not underneath anything. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and just turn it on. We're going to select high. It's 12:10 p.m. in the afternoon, and we're going to set this on high for 1 hour, and then we're going to cook 6 to 7 hours on low. So those are the directions from Aunt Kathy, and then we're going to let the meat rest in the pot for about 2 hours after that. Alright, so we've tenderized the meat and sprayed the crock pot before placing the meat inside of it. We placed the lid on top, and now we have it on high. We're going to have it on high for about 1 hour, and then we're going to put it on low for 6 to 7 hours, and then we're going to see where it's at.
Welcome back. We're now going to put the roast on low for 6 to 7 hours. Okay, so that means 7:30.
And we started at 12:10. It's now 1:30.
I don't think I want any.
So we actually did 20 minutes over on high, just because I wanted to let it warm up. Alright, it is 7:12 p.m. So we had it on high from 12:10 to about 1:30. And then we put it on from 1:30 to about 7:10. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this off for now, or we're going to put it on warm. And then we're going to just shut it off. So right now, it's 7:10 p.m., which means that we've had it cooking for about 6 hours, and it was on high for about 1 hour. So we're going to go ahead and see what it looks like. Alright, so it's 7:10 p.m. It's been on low for about 6 hours. Let me check it out. First, we're going to go ahead and yeah, it's falling off. Alright, so it tests. Alright, so it passes the fork test. We're going to let it sit for about 2 hours. So it's morning. We've taken the meat out. We let it sit overnight because it was still warm. We put the meat on a platter, and then we put the juices into those containers right there. And now what we're going to do is what?
Put them in the fridge.
We're going to put these in the fridge,
Make the gravy.
and then we're going to make some gravy, and then this will be for lunch. For Christmas.
No, I'm so ugly.
Okay, with the roast, we're going to do potatoes. It's almost 24 hours after. We have the gravy here.
So we're going to skim the fat off.
Skim the fat off the gravy.
That's just the juice, not the gravy yet. Take the fat off of here.
Looks about right.
Alright, let me check this. Sure you don't want to do this? Look at that.
Come on.
Where do I put
Do
it?
you want me to do it? So we're cutting the fat off the beef, and we're going to throw it out. In here. There you go, that's a good idea.
I mean, there's not too much fat on this one, right?
No, I mean, there's just a couple, like, yeah. That's pretty good.
Supposed to kind of like tear it apart. You sure it's done?
Yeah. It's gonna be a little red, babe. Alright, let's get the fat, babe.
Supposed to tear it apart.
So good with this. Alright.
Open the oven. Well, when it turns noon, it'll be 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Go.
This is so gross.
This is the process, huh? Take a spoonful and eat it.
So nasty.
Oh, I need to get the Christmas tree in the background for all these videos.
It's pretty good. Alright, what's the instructions?
Alright, so we're at
Water pot.
take the broth out of the refrigerator, put the broth in a pot. So now we're putting Put the broth into a pot and start warming it on medium to high heat.
For how long?
Meanwhile, put 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour into a measuring cup with about a cup of water. So we need to get some flour out in a cup of water. Should I use the ice cream scooper?
We have a ladle somewhere. Perfect.
How much?
I don't know, just that's some. You gotta mix it in.
More? How many of these?
No, maybe one more and then start stirring it. And then read the directions. I think you add that whole thing to the back to the broth in the pot.
I do. Think we need more flour?
No.
Alright, see what it says next. As the broth heats up, add some of the hot broth to the flour mixture to temper the mixture. Stir well when the broth is almost boiling. So now we have to get it almost boiling. Then add the flour water mixture to the broth. Continue stirring until it comes to a boil. Stay with this because it can scorch. Turn off burner and add salt and pepper. So now we get crazy. Go. Alright, now stir it. Get it all in there. Alright, now put it on a little bit higher because it's got to come to a boil.
I think it'll come. We don't want to scorch it. Just give her time.
Just a little. Keep it up. Gotta get it to a boil.
You gotta wipe down that table in there.
Oh, should we add parsley?
I think there's some in there somewhere. Okay, what happens when it boils? I turn it off?
Is it boiling yet?
Yeah, it's boiling. Oh, she's boiling.
Turn it. Turn it.
Turn it off?
No, no, no. It's not boiling yet.
It is! It is!
Okay, let it get to a simmer. It's got to get all the way.
Stop.
And then you turn it off. You got to let it all... I don't think it's thick enough.
It thickens as it... Remember? That's what she said. Okay, it's boiling. I think we need to turn it off.
You got to get it to a boil.
It is! Jordan, what is this? It's a boil!
Hold on.
Okay,
Okay.
you're gonna turn it... You don't...
Oh.
Can you tell me what the last directions are, please?
Continue stirring until it boils. Stay with this because it can scorch. Turn off burner and add salt and pepper to taste both gravy. Yeah.
Other side of town, going dropping off presents that way. She said she'd try to get back, before I left, but she said she wasn't sure she'd make it or not. So she looked out about 8:30, which is surprising.
Those look good.
Good.
Meat connoisseur.
Okay.
You're good.
Get a picture of that.
You'll
There it is.